Alright, so today's video is going to be a little bit about maintenance and what I do with my hydroponics stuff. First things first, I grabbed a few plants that I already have in semi-hydroponics. So we have a Monstera that's still a baby. I split her off the mama plant. She has not yet split, and that's totally okay. She's still coming out with new leaves. I have my moonshine snake plant. And we have, I think this is called the lipstick plant, something compacta, something. So we'll go ahead and see how her roots are going. She is blooming at the moment, so that's lovely. So let me go ahead, we'll start with the Monstera. So usually what I'll do is I'll take the little pot out, kind of get the water from in the leca a little out. I usually do this at my sink because I have a lot more room and space, but there's not really that much lighting over there, so we're gonna do that here. So take her out and look at that. Look at those water roots. Beautiful. So let me dump her. And because those roots are coming out the bottom, I just have to kind of play with them and push them back in through the top. Got all that out of there. Get some of these hydro balls off her roots. Now, like I said, I usually do this over the sink because I'll just kind of run the water and get the dead roots off of there. So you can see that we have some black roots along with the white roots. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dip it in this pot of water that I have. Swirl the roots around. Pluck off all those dead ones. Those are all the soil roots that have died because they no longer have the means to survive. All those water roots are coming up, taking over, so those are not needed. A lot easier to do this at your sink. All right, there we go. That's good enough for her. So that's her monthly or whenever I remember to do this, just to check and see how they're doing, see if the roots are taking in the pH balance that I'm giving them and whatnot. And it looks like she's doing just fine. So we're gonna go ahead and set her back in her pot. I can see some of the roots in there. Just put a little bit at the bottom, just about yay much. Swirl those roots around. Some of them come off, it's totally okay, she has plenty. Try to push her down as much as I can. One of her roots is up top, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just push that in there. And she'll find her way towards the bottom. Alright, we're all set. We're gonna go ahead and put her back in her catch pot. Let me empty the water she had in there. I am going to get some fresh water from my tap that, like I said in my previous videos, my tap water is totally fine for my plants. I just got normal water in here. Gonna give her a little drink. I got my nutrient water. Water again just to get that bottom. I know everyone's been asking how much water I put in these pots. I guess it really depends on you, how often you're gonna check on your plants. If I know I'm not gonna check on them for a while and I'm gonna be busy, I'll fill out their cache, you know, quite a bit ways, because the leca is gonna soak up what it soaks up and the roots are gonna take whatever they take. Plus with the leca, it's giving it the air it needs and circulation for the roots itself. But because I do check on the little ones quite often, I just go ahead and fill it up to here. About 1 finger's worth of water. She's in there, she gets some water. And I'll do that too. I'll put the pot in and lift it up to make sure that water is touching the bottom. Sometimes those pots don't touch all the way in the bottom and they won't get water. So there's one. Let's check on this one. I have her in a different nursery pot, and that's totally fine. Either pots work. I've seen it does the exact same thing, whether it has the netting pot all the way around or whether you just have the holes at the bottom of your pot. Go ahead and empty it. Now, this one, I actually rooted her in water to begin with. So she's hanging on to those leca balls with her roots. So she looks perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong. There's no black roots in her. Like I said, because she was in water and not soil, she looks perfectly normal. She's fine. She has white roots all the way around. Nothing's going on. She's growing beautifully. She's got another flower coming out of here. So where's that? This one I did only do water for quite a while. I want to say maybe for about 2 months, until I finally saw a little bit of roots, and then I went ahead and just gave her a tiny little drink of nutrients. But now that she has her root system completely filled up, we're gonna go ahead and give her a good drink of water. So she's still small, so we're gonna go ahead and leave her in her pot that she had. Set her down. There's no need to rinse her. Little layer of those leca. I am about 3/4 of the way. I usually just go ahead and tap the bottom, get those leca balls to kind of settle in there. And she's a little crooked this time, but that's okay. She'll usually go up towards the sun anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and put her back in her pot. I don't like that her roots are sticking up towards the top, so I'm gonna do that again. Did a little less this time just because I want her roots to sit lower. All right, we're all set. That looks a lot better. Her roots aren't sticking out. So we're gonna put her back in her little pot. Give her a tiny little drink of water, nutrient, just a splash, and then water again to get those nutrients down away from her top. Okay. Got her in there, and about the same amount of water as the last one. It's only about a finger's worth of water at the bottom. And I know her pot can touch the bottom because her pot's really tiny. So there's this one. And last but not least, we got our moonshine. She's actually been giving me a baby. Ever since I got her, I switched her over to leca, and she's been doing great. And a lot of people, you know, say they are very sensitive to water and root rotting. So we're gonna see how it is. So we're gonna dump our leca out and check her roots. Okay, that root is actually through that leca, so there are her roots. And you can see those white ones in there, they're doing marvelously. Those yellow ones will still fall off unless they're gonna turn translucent and white too. She does have a little bit of dirt on one of her sides, so we're gonna dip her in this water and just... It's totally okay if some roots come off. Okay. She's a little better. She's still gonna have a little black on this side just because there's little soil I can't get to, and some of her roots are still hanging onto soil. So she's looking great, so we're gonna go ahead and put her back in the pot she had. Now her roots and her system is quite short, so I'm actually gonna fill up her container a little more than normal so I can have her sit up a little bit, because I don't want water getting in between her leaves and causing her leaves to rot. So with this one, I got my leca about to here. And that looks good. Her roots are covered and her leaves aren't underneath either, so she's back in there. So put her back in her cache. Actually with this one, because her roots and I don't want water getting in her leaves, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little splash of vitamins and a splash of water so it's not so harsh on them. And this one I got to about here. Go to set her in there. Then you can see the water does come up to, you know, about half the pot, but that's perfectly fine. She'll do good. So I also did my fiddle outside, which is actually really cold today, but I went ahead and checked on her roots and stuff because I have her in leca before she actually died on me. Okay, so I got the fiddle out, checked on the roots. They're not the best, but they're not mushy and dead. So we're gonna go ahead and leave her in here and see how she does. So there you have it. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and let me know. My nutrient video is up and how I check my pH balance and all that. My water pH is usually around 6 or 7, and all my plants seem to be okay with it. I do check on them, not as often as I should. I probably check on them maybe once a month, or if I see something going on, then I'll try to check on them a little more. But other than that, that's all I do. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and leave a comment down below, or you can go ahead and message me as well. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Bye.